There's a reason you haven't heard from Gonzalo Lira yet with his so-called attempts at asylum in Hungary. It's because the state security services, better known as the SBU, are some of the most talented and focused law enforcement agents across the globe. And in doing so, they knew where Gonzalo...
To get the hell out of Dodge, I better set up at home, but my house thinking of fire. I know I don't wanna phone a machine, are you calling me? I wanna stake on witness, you all suffer from this disease. Scrap the digital cameras and then put seeds in your plan. Just create something more hopeful than what I read on your wall. I've got a fun thing for a natural human bonding, but this other form of mankind is nothing I would buy into.
Testing. 1, 2. Hey everybody. My name's Tom Westwood. And I want to just brush the dust off this channel. I used to use this channel back before I became discouraged, honestly. Discouraged by people trying to cut my tongue out. People who don't have my interests at mind. People who don't care about me. But they want me to shut up, that's for sure. And they probably want you to shut up too if you're subscribed to this channel. You know, there's something I wanted to talk about. One of the reasons I wanted to make this video today, and I would say probably the majority of my subscribers to this channel are all related to a certain individual from Tennessee. I'll get to that in a little bit, but I wanted to make this video as a little bit of practice because, you know, I had been working on this YouTube channel and a little bit, and working on a podcast, and right when a certain, you know, pandemic hit the entire world, and you know, certain subjects became a little taboo at that point. You couldn't talk about them. And that's kind of related to the person I'm going to discuss. But, you know, after getting a lot of my videos deleted and strikes on channels and even entire channels deleted. This channel was like, I started this one up after a previous channel was deleted. And you know, right now I just use this channel primarily for consuming media, and I don't want to get it deleted by YouTube because of anything I might, you know, any wrong opinion I might have in this video. So if you're a YouTube monitor and you're reviewing this, you know, I'd appreciate if you don't nuke my channel. But you know, a friend of mine today or yesterday asked me if I wanted to be on his podcast. This is an individual that I went to the Georgia Guidestones with prior to them getting bombed. And no, we weren't the ones that bombed it. I don't know who did that. I did notice when I was visiting the Georgia Guidestones that there was a lot of cameras all over the place. So I don't know I don't know how somebody bombs that without and gets away with it. Kind of like that pipe bomb in D.C. They got away with that too. But yeah, me and this person visited the Georgia Guidestones, and it was a pretty amazing experience. The Guidestones were a fascinating object, and it is a real shame that they were destroyed. I really wish they had not been, and I think they were destroyed to cover up some facts about our reality that the powers that be don't want you to know about. Yeah, and certain characteristics of the Georgia Guidestones, like there's a hole, and it always points at a specific point, and some people have suggested that that was the reason the Guidestones were destroyed. I don't want to get too much into that part of it, but look it up. You'll see what I'm saying if you think about what I'm saying. But so my friend asked me if I want to do a podcast, and I said maybe. Let me think about it. Let me think if there's anything I want to say. And there actually is something I want to talk about. And I referenced it earlier. The reason why anybody would be subscribed to this stupid channel in the first place, and that's a person called Tiffany Dover, who was a nurse and who went on TV and got protected from a certain respiratory illness live on TV, and then passed out, and everybody said she died. And there's an article that I'll link to it. Apparently they dug Tiffany Dover up, and if they're gonna bother digging her up, I'm gonna crawl out of my grave too and speak on the subject. Tiffany was finally ready to speak about the ordeal she went through. And I do have empathy for you, Tiffany, but the entire world went through a episode with you there. And, if you feel like you became a figurehead for a certain thing, well, you did go on TV and pass out after getting that thing. And then deleted your Instagram and your Facebook. And, it's kind of no wonder people thought you died, Tiffany. And in the article that, I'll link it, but she's a little upset that people were calling her job and calling her local post office or whatever. And sure, people did do that. I mean, I should know. I'm one of them. I called her job. I called her post office. I called her neighbor. I don't know if I ever called Tiffany. If I would have, I would have loved to have spoken to her and just asked her if she's all right. But I don't think that Tiffany Dover researchers are crazy. I know that there was a bunch of people in Germany that were looking into the Tiffany Dover situation. I was here in America looking into it. At the time, I was living in a different state. I was living in a more populated state. Living in the city. And during that time, that whole situation. I'm trying to use my words carefully because I don't want to trigger a bunch of algorithms. But at that time, seeing how everything got shut down and everybody was forced to wear a mask, everybody wanted people to get certain injections, and there's people on the news every day telling you, you gotta get it, you gotta get it, you gotta get it. And then Tiffany Dover comes along and passes out on television, and she threw red meat to us evil conspiracy theorists who wanted to be contrarians and point to her and say, look, she's passing out. She's probably dead. Let's call her work. I bet she doesn't even work anymore because she's in hell. You know, yeah, that happened, but I think it would have been reasonable for a follow-up Tiffany Dover come out and say, hey, I'm still alive, you guys are nuts, whatever. You know, she decided to do it a couple years later. Decided to do it in 2024 for some reason. Well, Tiffany, thanks for coming back to the party, but, you know, at this point, we have bigger concerns than just a vaccine anymore. Yeah, anymore it's like nuclear weapons will probably just wipe us all out anyway this year. So I'm sorry you had a hard time, Tiffany. And I do hope you watch this video, and I would still love to talk to you. But, you know, what can I say? Don't take experimental drugs and then pass out on TV and expect to not raise any eyebrows. So that's that for the Tiffany Dover thing. But if you subscribed to my channel back then, and that's the reason you're subscribed to this channel, you're a real OG. And I just want to thank you. And I hope this video catches anybody who remembers back in those days, and we can all reminisce about the early days of the pandemic. It was great. The other thing I got a little list here. Gonzalo Lira. Rest in peace, Gonzalo Lira. As many of you are aware, or not, Gonzalo Lira passed away recently in Ukraine. He was in detention for having the wrong opinion about the war in Ukraine, while being in Ukraine. And he was locked up for that, and then he was denied medical attention, and he died of pneumonia. I just want to say, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry you died of pneumonia, Gonzalo Lira. Probably directly under the orders of Zelensky and Joe Biden. I don't know that for sure. Don't quote me on that, anybody. But if you look at who is that basketball chick, Garner? I don't even know her name because I don't give a shit about basketball or women's basketball or whatever league she was from. Transgender basketball. I don't care about that. She was in Russia, and you know what did we trade to get her back? I don't think they were abusing her in prison in Russia or beating her or anything, but that was in Russia, right? She was a prisoner in Russia, and she was arrested for drugs. You know, sure, that could have been, they could have made those charges up, but I thought Ukraine is our ally, and Gonzalo Lira was a U.S. citizen, and he was allowed to die in custody because he was criticizing the Zelensky regime and Joe Biden in Ukraine. I think people should be outraged. I don't see anyone making a big deal about it. No one outside of his fans and friends and family really seems to give a shit that we let this guy die in that in that prison cell. I remember when the journalist in Saudi Arabia was chopped up. I forget the journalist's name. Forgive me, but the Western media made a huge deal. Khashoggi, that's it. They made a huge deal about Khashoggi, but no one's crying for Gonzalo Lira. So I guess if you're if you're a U.S. citizen and you're in Ukraine and you have the wrong opinion, be careful. Watch out, because they just murdered Gonzalo, and they would do it to all the rest of us too if they could, I'm sure. I don't have a lot of time left for this video. I'm driving to a property that I'm working on fortifying for the coming apocalypse this year. I hope anyone listening to this is getting out of the cities and maybe getting some storable food and water, because I think some crazy things are going to happen this year, and not just related to the fact that it's a presidential election year in America, but there's some other indicators. There's a trailer for a movie also coming out this spring, Civil War, and it seems to line up nicely with what's happening with Texas and the federal government. Whether or not that's all fake gay bullshit, staged wrestling bullshit, at the end of the day, it's not really going to matter when they have their precipitating event that they're able to use to kick off the Civil War in America. I think we're pretty close to that breaking point, and that's just one major conflict that's happening in the world. There's also the Russia-Ukraine, the U.S.-China, the U.S. Houthi, Iran. Strap in. Everybody strap in. But don't be discouraged. I mean, if we all get obliterated by nuclear weapons this year, we'll just do it all again in the next on the next evolution of this, when our souls are recycled and we all come back here. We'll all just try it again. But before that happens, let's try to be better people, nicer people, friendlier people. Don't be a sad sack. One thing I did want to mention briefly is COVID. Please don't delete my channel, YouTube. COVID dick. No, well, the medical term, I guess, is COVID penis, but I'm just getting over a COVID infection. I had it about a week ago. And that's the second time I had COVID. No, I'm not vaccinated. The second time I had it, and both times I had discomfort in my testicles and my groin. And I was joking about that to a coworker yesterday, and then I looked it up, and there is a condition called COVID penis. There is studies that they've done that COVID infects the penis and the testicles, and the reproductive system of males. It can shrink your penis. It can lower sperm count. It can cause infertility. And it's been pretty, it's common knowledge at this point that it was designed, gain of function, in the Wuhan lab, Eco Health Alliance, we paid for it, Dr. Fauci, we funded it, Bill Gates, Bill Melinda Gates, but isn't it just interesting that this disease they created attacks your balls and your sperm? Like I said, they don't just want to cut your tongue out. They want to cut your balls off too. And that's what they've been working on. So hopefully I recover from my COVID dick, but I am a COVID dick survivor. But yeah, I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about. I'm almost to my fallback location for the zombie apocalypse. I'm working on building that up, a farm, plant a little garden, get some chickens. For when shit really pops off later on in the year. Which it is going to do. And hopefully God willing, I come back on here and make some more videos. But today is January 26, 2024. And I guess my prediction is that things get pretty hot and heavy in America and around the world this year. There's just too many situations that are getting to a point where it needs to be addressed, or or things are just going to explode. So we'll see what happens, but anybody who's watching this, I'm glad you're still subscribed, and I wish you all the best of luck this year. And leave a comment and let me know what you thought about anything I've said today. Rest in peace, Gonzalo Lira. Rest in peace, Tiffany Dover. Peace.